Ms. Bostrom, are you ready?
Ready?
Ready. All right. I just want to do, I'm in at the risk of not jinxing anything for our UN connection, I'm not going to turn on my camera. I will do so afterwards. But my name is Joan Rory, and I am the Executive Director of Adventure Kids Learning, a water education organization, and we bring the global water crisis into classrooms. I am so excited for everyone that's connected right now to be part of this very first Ripples Make Waves. Part of our mission with Adventure Kids Learning is to foster next generation water advocates. And we firmly believe that the young people of this world are going to be powerful advocates and passionate about water, that precious resource we all need that brings us all together. So it is World Water Day, the very first Ripples Make Waves. I hope that by participating, listening, and interacting today, you bring away, you take away that even though you might be one person in a big ocean, you can make a big impact. So tune in as often as you can today. We have 24 incredible speakers. Be inspired, ask questions, learn, share the story. Go home and tell your families that you were in Switzerland, Spain, United States, all sorts of places today, and you never left your classroom. So with that being said, I would very much like to introduce Ms. Bostrom from United Nations Water. She's going to be presenting to us from Geneva, Switzerland, and I'm so happy and excited to launch Ripples Make Waves #1. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joan. Can you hear me well, just so I get some response back since you can't see me?
Yes, yeah.
Yes, perfect. Hello, everybody, and welcome. And thank you so much to Ripples Make Waves for organizing this 24-hour event. And really congratulations on such an important and inspiring initiative. As you see here in my presentation, I've named it Youth Engagement at its Best. And I was, when putting this title, I was thinking, should I put this sort of overly confident title? And I thought, yes, I should, because I meet a lot of youth, and I love working with young people, because most, and not to even actually say all, are very inspiring. However, usually most youth that I meet in not such advocating settings, they say water is really important and I really want to make a difference, and I'm going to share your messages on social media. And that's a great thing to do. But then the action often stops there. And why I named this presentation Youth Engagement at its Best, because here your initiative and your actions, they don't stop at social media. They actually go that extra mile. And today, when it's so very easy to reach a lot of people anywhere and anytime, it's also very difficult to reach people for real. And here, you're reaching people for real. And this is all about creating communications that enables us to understand each other's perspectives. So as Joan was saying, you're going to be in Switzerland, in Spain, in the US, and in various parts of the world where you have these real stories. And that's really what makes us able to build bridges, understand each other's perspective, and, to be a bit idealistic, create a better world and that future that we all want. So your initiative actually made me think of something I've been reading about a lot, which is the campfire factor. Remember, when you were maybe younger, or even now, you were sitting in this, around a campfire, and you tell these stories. You're in this environment where you pay attention to the story that's being told, and then the people who were telling those stories pay attention to you when you tell your stories. So this is really what your initiative makes me think of. So a big congratulations on that. So during these 24 hours, and this does not work. Okay, during the 24 hours, you're going to be discussing water and sanitation, and especially children's rights to water and sanitation. This is something that we have to talk about. And I would like to share with you a film as an introduction to the day. This is a film that inspires me both on a professional level, and it helps me to keep real in terms of understanding what it is that I do and why I want to do it, and also on a personal level to be grateful to every day that my children have a very high chance of reaching the age of 5, thanks to the fact that we're living in a country where there is safe water and sanitation. So Joan, could you please play the film? Which means that I have to do this.
Has the baton been passed to me, Carla?
मेरा बच्चा 5 साल का हो गया।
इतना सब 5 साल में कौन सी बड़ी बात है?
बड़ी बात है मैडम, ये गुंडप्पा का पहला बच्चा है जो 5 साल की उम्र तक पहुंचा है।
Thanks so much, Joan. Okay. So I see. Okay. So that's a film that I think sets the topic and especially links in with how water and sanitation is so important for children, especially children under the age of 5. It's quite an impossible thought to think, but every day, 24 hours, 1,000 children under the age of 5 die because of unsafe water and sanitation. So during your Ripples Make Waves, 1,000 children will die. from preventable diseases caused by unsafe water and sanitation. And this is really unacceptable. And this is why I said that this type of video is one that makes me at least want to continue to work to change the situation in the world. So let's go to this slide. So why is it so important to have water and sanitation? Well, then to answer that question, you just need to look at the countries that have 100% coverage. And the main impact here that you see is on health. So if people don't get sick and die from water and sanitation, it leads to good public health. And if you have good public health, meaning that many people in your society are healthy, it means that you can build a prosperous society. Children can get an education when they don't have to walk to fetch water. Girls can manage their menstruations in schools in dignity and in privacy. And when then they grow up, they can get a job, and that can construct a society. So that's really what happens when you, it's quite an easy equation, which happens when you have safe water and sanitation available. So right now, I mean, this is all quite stark news and looks doomy and gloomy, but right now there's something very exciting happening. So you probably heard of this in school. These are the global goals, the sustainable development goals that UN member states, those are the 193 countries that are part of the United Nations, they took the decision at the end of 2015 to continue working for global goals. So they set 17 different goals on different areas, and one of them is on water and sanitation. Before, in the Millennium Development Goals, so the 15 years from 2000 to 2015, there wasn't the goal for water and sanitation. There were targets on water and sanitation, but there wasn't a single sort of exclusive goal. This is very important for us, and it's something that we had worked a lot with countries to advocate for this, really, or to at least inform and advise technically on the need for a water and sanitation goal. And you, as future water advocates, this is something that you probably know, but water isn't just drinking water and sanitation, it's also water quality and how we manage our wastewater. It's also how much water we have, why different countries have access to different amounts of water during different times of the year. It's also how we manage our ecosystems and, for example, how we manage rivers that flow between different countries. We call them transboundary waters. So it's all of that. So now there's a goal, and we have 14 years, or a bit less than that, to work to achieve this. And the ultimate goal that's been set is that everyone by 2030 should have access to water and sanitation, and also then sustainably manage water and sanitation in the future. So this is us. We are United Nations Water, and I thought I would just take this opportunity to say a few words about what it is that we do. For those of you who know a bit about the UN, you know that there are different agencies or different funds or programs that work on different issues. So you have, for example, the World Health Organization that works on health. You have a United Nations Development Program that works on development of people and countries. You have the United Nations Environment Program that works on environmental issues. But you don't have something, a specific agency dedicated exclusively to water. And this links back to what I've been saying in this presentation, which is that water is actually connected to everything. You heard me talk about how it's connected to people's health. So all of these agencies, funds, and programs, they have water programs. So instead of creating a single agency that deals with water, which would then mean duplication of the work, what happened was that a interagency was created called the United Nations Water. So what we do is we do three different things, you can say, to make it simple. We give policy advice and technical advice to UN member states on emerging issues and also on current issues. We also work with monitoring and reporting, which is something now that's being done when you've set this goal. We need to monitor how the progress is towards achieving it to be able then to rectify or to accelerate certain initiatives. So we do that as well. We monitor and then we report on water and sanitation. And the third thing we do is really what you're doing here today. We organized the World Water Day and the World Toilet Day campaigns. Those happen on 22nd of March and 19th of November. And these are big public campaigns, and they're part of the UN International Observances, which are issues where actually it's days where you put a specific focus on issues of global concern, and water is one of them. So World Water Day has been around for 23 years now. So it's one of the oldest campaigns, I would say, in the UN, and it's one of the biggest ones. And I'm going to tell you one of my favorite stories in terms of what it is that we want to do with these campaigns, because we say we want to inform, engage, and inspire people to take action. So we have every year a specific theme for World Water Day that is set a few years in advance. So this is when all the different expertise within UN Water comes together and looks at what is it that we have as upcoming or current challenges a few years ahead, and then sets that theme. So every year we focus the attention around that theme. This year it's wastewater. And then we organize, we create a lot of information material around this. Then we either ship this to countries, or we also put it digitally online so people can download it and learn more about the specific issues. And then when I say that we want to inspire action, this is really what you're doing here today. You're taking action. You may not have been inspired by us. You may have been inspired by your own initiative, of course, but this is really something that we want to do. So this photo here comes from Nigeria. It's from an informal settlement area, that's a slum area in Nigeria. And the person you see there on the right in yellow is Mr. Akalule. He is a school teacher in Nigeria, and he found our website in 2014 when the topic was water and energy, and downloaded material, and he's a teacher in quite a privileged area in Nigeria. So then what he decided to do was to print lots of material and engage his class around water and energy. And then he took his class to a slum area where they taught the children there how to purify water with solar energy. And for me, this is just a wonderful example of how inspiration can happen if you just have access to information. So this year, I was saying that the theme is wastewater. It's a theme that you can think maybe is quite technical, but it isn't so much, because there's very much that we can do around wastewater. The situation is that today we release 80% of our wastewater into the environment. So it just flows back and it's not treated. And this has major implications for health, and it has major implications for the environment. I mean, it can disrupt biodiversity, it can create toxic algae blooming. And also, if we go back to the examples that I've been saying in the beginning around health and children, and we take a Nigerian example again, in Lagos, that's a city that produces 1.5 million cubic meters of wastewater every day, and much or most of that wastewater just flows back into the lagoon, where you have children bathing and playing, and also consuming that water. So then they can get sick from that. So it's something that we really need to work with, and it's something that we can quite easily take action on. For example, industries, they can reuse wastewater quite easily in terms of in terms of cleaning or heating or cooling their systems. You even have municipalities that reuse wastewater to clean their streets. And in some countries, such as in Namibia and in Singapore, they have found systems to reuse their wastewater so you can actually drink it again. The thought of this can revolt some people, and that's a big work that has to be done then together with the public that's going to drink the wastewater. But in Singapore, for example, one of their waters is called New Water, and that is recycled wastewater. So I thought that I would show you this film, and I think I probably am able to just play it from here. Okay, so that's a short promotional film that we hope is quite easy to understand, that we produced for this year's World Water Day, and that we see then that organizations like yourselves, when they want to inform school classes or open events, they show this to just introduce the topic of the year. So I'm coming to the end of my presentation, and I thought I would share yet another film with you. And before doing that, I would like to end with saying that I think that your event is really about telling stories. And I think that storytelling, some people say that it's the currency of the 21st century. And I don't know if I believe that it's going to replace money, but I do believe that stories can be very powerful. So I'd like to tell you one of mine that links to this film that I would like to show. I have two children, and they're 2 and 6 years old. So you can imagine that I do what I do. I work with water, and I'm quite passionate about water. So I try to influence them as much as possible to think about their luck and to also be aware that you see water as something very valuable, and you don't just waste it. So the other day, my 6-year-old asked me what I would do if I were president. And it's a very interesting question, because I had to think hard about it, because there's so many things that I would like to do if I were president. So I was thinking about all these topics that are very dear to me: equal rights and opportunities for girls and boys, and going to school, and rights for refugees, and so on. So he actually interrupted me after a while of thinking and said, well, I bet you'd just give everybody access to water and sanitation. So of course his answer, I mean, it really astonished me, because I thought it was so clever and obvious. Yes, of course, I would just give everyone access to water and sanitation. It's not easy as that, but I think that that's at least what I would do. So I asked him back, so what would you do? And he thought very long and hard, and I was so sure that he would say something really smart and politically correct. And then he said, I would let everybody play as much iPad as they want. So then we went back into our traditional roles, and I asked him to come and watch this video that we watch from time to time about thinking about how lucky we are to live in a country where we manage our waters well and where we have access to water and sanitation. So I would like to share this with you to end my presentation. So thank you, Joan, for showing us. Let me give you back the rights. Joan, we can't hear any sound.
Very good. Thank you so much, United Nations Water, for putting your name behind this event, for you, Ms. Bostrom, for opening up our event. And in about a minute and a half, we have Mari Copeny from Flint, Michigan, where we are hosting the conference. In addition, we have a host in England who is running the United Kingdom end of things. And Mari is just getting ready to speak. We'll turn on audio and video for her in about a minute. In the meantime, I keep the chat room open. I sure would like to know where everybody's coming from, and we can show Mari the types of classrooms and people that are connected. So if you can, take a moment to throw in the chat room where you're located. Greetings, everybody. I want to make sure that Mari's microphone works, so we're going to do some audio switching. All right, Mari, we are ready to go when you are ready. So I would like to introduce, and she'll do her own introduction as well, but Mari Copeny from Flint, Michigan, bringing into our very first speaker for the very first Ripples Make Waves.
Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Mari Copeny. I am 9 years old. Globally, I am known as Little Miss Flint. One of the youngest activists and water warriors in the world. Once upon a time, I could take a bubble bath with the water from the tap. I could get a big glass of water to drink. I could make Kool-Aid and lemonade with the water. We could boil a pot of noodles for spaghetti. I could fill up my swimming pool and play on my slip and slide. That was almost 3 years ago. Now the water that comes from my tap is poison. If I try I want a bath, the water is blue. The water burns my eyes when it runs. It smells like meat some days. Other days it smells like fish eating corn chips. There are no more bubble baths. We can't shower for more than a few minutes without getting a rash developed from eating chemical burns. My family's skin is always so dry and itchy all the time now. What happened, you may ask? Well, to save a little bit of money, officials decided to change the water from the Flint River and didn't properly treat it from it even though
Hey, Miss Mari,
Yes, there is fine.
I'm going to have you come a little bit closer. Bring that smile closer to the camera and slow down.
The water is what's so bad it made red. Legionnaires and other bacteria get into our water. People of all ages are sick. Some even die. We don't know the full effect of the poison water on people, and we'll probably not know for decades. Now, when I brush my teeth, I have to use bottled water. Wash my hands, bottled water. If we want to take a bubble bath, we have to heat up bottled water. 62 gallons to bake is that. Every time we cook dinner, we are opening up bottles of water. We can't even go to the tap and turn it on today just because the water is so bad. When we need to get fresh water, we have to drive to the water site and pick it up, and then haul it back into our house. I wanted to help the kids in Flint. So before we went to D.C. last year for the congressional hearings, because of that, I wrote a letter to the president. The D.C. trip came and went, and about a month later, my mom got a call that the president wanted to not only let me back, but to come to Flint and meet me and to speak to the people of Flint. It was amazing to meet him. He gives the world's best hug. He never realized that anyone can change the world, even like a kid like me. Change the world, even a kid like me. I have been using social media to help spread awareness about the water crisis here and the Dakota Access Pipeline in Standing Rock. I am also a youth ambassador for the Women's March on Washington. This is also another platform that I have been using to tell people that the Flint water crisis is not over. Flint has been in the crisis for 1,062 days. Next month we will reach our 3-year marking period. My city is my passion. I will do whatever it takes to help out here. I have selected book bags and school supplies. I have helped with water drives. And I will keep on speaking out for the ones that are most in need. I have a ton of role models that inspire me every day. Martin Luther King Jr. inspires me to speak out and be fearless. The co-chairs of the Women's March inspire me to keep taking my fight to the next level and never let anyone silence my voice. President Obama inspired me to be the change I want to see in the world. In fact, anyone can change the world. All you have to do is put your mind to it and just do it. Even if you fail at first. Keep going. You are changing the world. Water is life. We all know this is a fact. Water is life and should be accessible to everyone. No matter where you live, water is life. Yet, our friends at Standing Rock are still fighting against the Dakota Access Pipeline. Water is life. Yet, Flint, Michigan still does not have clean, safe water. So today on World Water Day, please do not forget about the people of Flint, Michigan, and don't forget, teeny ripple turn to a huge wave. Bye-bye.
Don't say bye-bye. You're going to stick around for some questions. Good job, Mari. Let's give Mari a round of applause, even though she can't hear you. There's 57. Oh, we do hear some. And you're on camera. So what I'd like to do, because we have an opportunity to ask Little Miss Flint some questions, what I'd like to do is allow some classrooms to, let me go back in there, possibly come to the camera, unmute your microphones, and ask questions. So Mari's on camera and ready to take your questions. Mari, what grade are you in? Ms. Razavong's class in Racine, Wisconsin would like to know, what grade are you in?
I'm in the 4th grade.
And Ms. Patri's classroom, not sure of their location, said, yay, great job.
Thank you.
So if you have a question, have your teacher pop into the chat panel, and we will, or the Q&A panel, but we can respond via chat. Mari, tell me again what President Obama was really good at. I like that line in your talk.
He is really good at giving the world's best hugs. He gives like the huge bear hugs, like He's as soft as a fluffy pillow.
Well, you heard that here first, that President Barack Obama is as soft as a fluffy pillow and gives the world's best bear hugs. And if I recall, he came to Flint, Michigan specifically to meet Miss Mari. My students would like to know, and it's Ms. Groff, why is, and I'm going to maybe ask you to clarify, Ms. Groff, and when you're in the chat window, make sure you know, make sure you tell us your location. Ms. Groff's classroom would like to know, why is water such a concern for you? It was a little difficult to hear in the very beginning. And then we'll go to the questions from Ms. Crum's class in Warren, New Jersey. So why is water such a concern for you?
Because the water here in Flint, Michigan, it gives us bad rashes, and it smells like bleach and fish, and it, like, every time when we take a shower, we have to take, like, a quick, like, 2-minute shower and to just wash and then get out, or just wash our hair and then wash and then get out. And it burns our eyes, too.
She says, thank you. Now, there's a question from Warren, New Jersey, from Ms. Crum's class, and they want to know, how did you find out that the water was poison? Mom can certainly help coach. Don't worry about coaching, because we can. Who found that there was lead in the water? She's one of your best friends. And she makes sure the kids here are well. Dr.
Mona!
Tell us a little bit about Dr. Mona.
She is a pediatrician for all the Flint kids here, and she was the one that found out that there was lead in the water, and she found out that if some of the kids had lead poisoning and they were not gonna die, or some were gonna die. So she found out she found out some of the lead levels, and she found out that there was lead in the water, and to help all the kids here in Flint get well and to eat healthy. So because she said sometimes if you drink the water, it can make you die or make you sick.
Very good. Now we have a question from the 6th graders in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Mrs. Petrie's class want to know if you've been working on this all by yourself. Do you advocate for clean water for Flint all by yourself?
My mama kind of helps me, but I'm usually the one that always says it. But she helps me a little bit. Just a tiny little bit.
Good for Mama. Shout out for Mama.
Yay!
So then the question was kind of a repeat, but how did your family find out about the water? Can you drink water from your school water fountain, Mari?
Yeah, we can drink water from our school water fountain because
your school is not in Flint.
Yeah, I go to a Grand Lake school. World Crisis Academy in Grand Lake, Michigan, and last year in 3rd grade, we had a program going on that if you lived in Flint, Michigan, if you were dealing with the water and the lead poisoning, you would get like a healthy snack. I think from the government health department. I'm not sure, but you used to get like a healthy free snack for if you lived in Flint, and some of the kids that didn't live in Flint would they would get their own snack, but if there's leftovers, they would say if they wanted like one yes or no, but yeah, I can drink the water. We can drink the water from our
Water fountain at school.
Yeah, water fountain at school.
But not nowhere here in Flint.
Nowhere here in Flint. That's why I'm not in a Flint school, because most of the Flint schools are shut down.
All right. Another question from a classroom in North Branford, Connecticut. And Ms. Raher's class would like to know, what can others do to help the people in Flint?
Well, what my mama usually says is that sometimes you have to keep you
have to keep telling people about
yeah,
Flint.
you need to keep on. You need to get more information about Flint, and like all the information you know and the new information to tell it to other people, and they tell other people, and then they spread it on, and that's spreading awareness, so that we can keep, like, that's why we have a Twitter and a Facebook and an Instagram, so you can like tell people on the internet about it.
Give them updates about Flint and what's going on.
Yeah.
A good point about those hashtags, and just because it's not in the headlines to the rest of the world anymore doesn't mean the problem has been solved. So I'm just going to put in, once Mari mentioned hashtags, if you're participating in any social media outlets today for World Water Day, there's 2 hashtags we'd like you to use, and I'll certainly send them in the chat box as well. One is hashtag World Water Day. That's the official UN Water World Water Day hashtag. But we would also like you to add hashtag MakeWaves17. MakeWaves17. And that indicates that you're an active participant in Ripples Make Waves. One last question for Miss Mari. And actually we have another one, but we've got a question from West York Middle School. Do you know what kind of diseases, and you talked a little bit about what happens with too much lead in the water, but what types of diseases might you get from having lead in the water?
Lead poisoning.
You can get lead poisoning, and you might die from lead poisoning, though.
What else can you do that can kill you?
You can get Legionnaires from the water, too. Kids under age 6 have Legionnaires, and some...
No, not under age 6. Most people that get Legionnaires are elderly.
Oh.
And a lot of times Legionnaires is misdiagnosed as pneumonia. So while they say that 12 people died from Legionnaires, the numbers could actually be double or triple. We're just not sure because they didn't do the test for it.
We also have a classroom from Ms. Crum. She sent it to the host and the presenter, but I'm going to tell everybody they wish to say thank you because the situation in Flint caused other places to do water testing, and they did find some lead levels at their school in Warren, New Jersey. So another question.
Joan, this is Mary.
Yeah.
This is Mary. We have Ms. Zobel's class from Pittsburgh, New York that has been putting quite a few questions in the question and answer area, and I think we've answered most of them, but the biggest thing that they're still asking about is how much water do you use a day, and are you getting, and then we had another question on, do you get the water from, where do you buy your bottled water, or is it provided to you by an organization?
Okay, I can answer that. Normally at our house, we are going through between 4 to 8 cases of water per day. We have what's called water pod sites, where the state has people that actually work at these sites and they distribute water. And you can go pick up as much water as you need as long as you make it to the site before they close down at 6 o'clock. And that's normally how people here get their water. I know a while ago it was ordered for door-to-door delivery for people to get water. That has not happened yet.
Thank you.
And I apologize for not seeing that. There's 2 tabs in my question panel. One was just for me, and the other is all of the questions. So thank you, Mary, for picking up on that. I think we'll take another question or 2, but we do have students outside waiting to come in for the 11 o'clock presentation. Here's one in the chat.
How long
she's relaying some of the questions that I now actually get to see. So we were wondering if you or anyone have gotten sick from the water in Flint. Did you actually get sick, Mari?
I'm actually sick right now.
She's had a cold. She's had some of the memory loss, which is a side effect from lead poisoning. We're not actually sure how high her lead levels were because by the time we thought to get it tested, it had already been 30 days. Lead stays present in the blood system for 30 days and then it goes undetectable. Our family has also dealt with horrible rashes that look like chemical burns for almost 3 years now.
What I think we'll do on the Ripples Make Waves, these are good questions, and we have seen some news articles on the rashes
that have been present. For some of the people here, we can put some images up there and answer some of those questions. I'm just making sure we've got, by the way, many classrooms are saying, thank you for the great presentation, Mari.
You're welcome.
How long did it take for you to work on that?
1 day.
So she worked on it for a day, and that question was from Ms. Zobel. And
Follow me on Twitter too.
what's your Twitter name?
Hashtag Little Miss Flint.
I'll throw those all in the chat box as well as our Facebook page. And Mari's got the camera on her, so we're going to call it a wrap for Mari.
Bye-bye.
And then at 11 o'clock Eastern Time is our next presentation, is a panel from Mott Middle College High School students in Flint, Michigan, right where I am. So let's say goodbye to Mari. Mari, give us a wave. Hi, everybody that's joined Ripples Make Waves. Looks like we've got about 50 people, 50 classrooms or locations waiting for the 11 o'clock. We're going to go live in about 3 minutes, but I do want to ask my panelists if somebody can take the lead in handling the Q&A. We're going to stick to Q&A. I was encouraging people to chime in the chat room. Let's stick with Q&A for classroom and remote location questions, and chat for panelists and hosts. And I see that there are people chiming in with questions right now. And I'm going to try to track them and get some answers for you. And maybe when these Mott Middle College students are done, they can field some questions, general questions as well. But again, let's reiterate, if I could get one of my panelists to step up to the plate to monitor Q&A and stick to chat for panelists. I'm going to turn on video, but mute for a second.
I'll help you, Sam.
Also, panelists stateside and hosts stateside, stick to my text number for in between for back channel, if that's okay. We're going to go in about 1 minute. In the meantime, I would like you, as a Q&A, to chime in what location you're coming from while we're waiting for the green light to start on our end. So teachers, in Q&A, please just post the location your classroom is coming from. Okay, I think we'll start this ball rolling. This is Joan off camera from Ripples Make Waves, and this 11 o'clock Eastern presentation is coming to you from Mott Middle College in Flint, Michigan, and we have a panel of 6 students here. Each of them will introduce themselves loudly and clearly, and then they'll proceed with their presentation. So if you have classroom questions, I don't know, students, are you going to take time to ask questions in between? Do you want to wait till after your presentation? What's going to work best for any Q&A to come your way?
Probably afterwards.
Okay, so let's turn it over to the students of Mott Middle College, and you're the second presenters in the very first Ripples Make Waves. Welcome.
So we are the Mott Maverick Movement. My name is Tara Kellendike.
I'm Riley French. I'm Ali South.
I'm Angel Manuel.
I'm Isaiah Brown. My name is Jordan Chambers.
So we are from Mott Middle College. Mott Middle College is an early college program for high school students, grades 9 through 13. And you are able to take college classes while going to high school here at Mott Middle College.
We were chosen to be part of NCNC, which Riley will explain some. We were chosen because we were recognized as student leaders, and they thought that we would be able to make a difference locally in our community by doing an environmental project.
So with the environmental project, as the Mott Maverick Movement, we were chosen to be a part of the Middle College National Consortium, which is kind of like an organization where middle colleges from around the country will meet once a year, which we're meeting in Houston at the end of this month, to talk about environmental issues in our community. And our environmental issue is about the Flint Water Crisis. Isaiah will kind of go through what our project is.
Okay, for our project, we focus more on kids. We feel like kids not have a voice when it comes to saying problems like this. We feel like that it's like kids also have a special voice that sometimes goes unheard. So Angel here, she went up to International Academy of Plant, and she got feedback from different ages groups from 7 to 5, and she's going to explain more about that in a minute. But our project, we explained basically, we went more in depth with it, and we explained how kids need to be heard. We explained the story behind Flint. So if you want, you can look us up on Instagram. It's Mott Maverick Movement, and you can see more about what we're doing for our project. And Angel will explain our feedback.
So what we did to get responses from the children, we went to the International Academy of Flint and we made a survey in a pamphlet for kids to answer from ages 7 to 15 years old. So that's like grades 4 to 8. And we got some really good responses. Some of them were like, here. So, how has your life been affected by the Flint water crisis? Somebody said, horribly. I used to cook with lead water, and I'm sure you can't fix what it is and how it's affected my life. And they said that their little sister, Olivia, was affected by it and got a rash. And then someone else said that their life changed dramatically, and they can only use water bottles for specific things. And they recently found out about it in September 2016. And on average, they think they use 4 cases of water a week. And they said that their grandmother was affected by lead poisoning due to the Flint water crisis.
Yeah, so this has affected everybody in Flint, Michigan, and we have used so many water bottles, and we will continue to do so until a solution comes along to change the pipes and so we can get clean water again in Flint.
Recently, people are getting letters from the Department of Flint, like the Water Department, and it was talking about like they were trying to change pipes to copper, and they had a little project background. They were saying like in April 2014, the city of Flint would stop purchasing treated water from Detroit Water and the Sewage Department, but also approximately 32 residents in the Flint in Genesee County had like a source line proposed with the various materials, and also they've been exposed with lead, and they should be possibly replaced. They have possibly replaced it 700 water service lines in March 2016. So they were basically trying to start their construction with the pipe with the copper in between April 2017 to October 2017.
Which is actually kind of an issue because this has been going on for years, and just now they're starting to take action and kind of talk to the citizens and the people that live here, and it's been going on for years now.
So Virginia Tech came to our school recently. They discussed among a different sets of information, different sets of background feedback that they have gotten when they came to Flint. And when they came to Flint, it didn't really change my view, but they changed my perspective of how I viewed the Flint water crisis. At first, I viewed the Flint water crisis as us being victims. Yes, we are victims, and yes, this is an ongoing problem. But if you think about it, yes, it's not getting solved, but we are working as a community to make sure this gets solved. We're working as a community to make sure that this gets heard. We're not going unnoticed. And when they came here and they told us basically about different stuff that Flint has did and became a community, this I wouldn't say it made it stronger, but it's made us push more towards that we want this to be aware. We want people to know what's actually going on and how in depth it goes. And if Flint can do this, this is sending out a hope beacon that different cities in the United States can do this. If Flint can rise and show that we have a problem going on, we would not go unheard without this being solved, other communities and other cities can do this as well. So as you're in your community, and if you see something that's going on that can be solved, think to yourself, what can you do to help? What can you do to make this heard?
To add on to what Isaiah said, it was one of the, 3 big heroes of the Flint water crisis was Mark Edwards, and he came from Virginia Tech to display and give us some facts about it. And also Leanne Walters, the mother that found out that the water was messed up and noticed the difference in her child, her daughter was here to actually give us some facts too. And he had representatives from Virginia Tech to give us more facts and demonstrations on how to take care of the water. So one of the things he told us was that actually the water in Flint has been better than it has been in 20 years, according to the lead. And that
you shouldn't drink it, I guess, but you shouldn't, you can still wash up in it, you can still take showers and cook in it. And that you're not supposed, most people boil their water to, get rid of bacteria, but that won't get rid of lead. It'll actually, dense it up more and make it worse to be able to use. Okay, I want to quote something that Hannah, our teacher, said. Nutrition can be a great mitigator for lead toxicity. Diets in iron, calcium, vitamin C actually decrease the absorption of lead and promote excursion. And for civil rights advocates, the health crisis in Flint smacks what has been known as environmental racism. And most people, if you don't know what environmental racism is, it is placement of low-income or minority groups in proximity of environmental hazards or degraded environments, such as toxic waste, pollution, and urban decay.
Yeah, so we are welcome to take questions if there are any questions.
All right, so I'm manning the question and answer segment. Thank you very much, Mott Middle College students. On our best days, we can't imagine what it would be like to have to live through this and have our lives basically changed dramatically due to this. So right now, I know that we've got about 45 classrooms participating. This is your opportunity. We've got West York, Pennsylvania. We have Cleveland Heights, Ohio. This is your opportunity to ask questions of the students here at Mott. So if there's any classrooms out there, actually we have from Vermont. Is there anything that the school in Vermont can do to help Flint right now?
Go ahead, Isaiah.
I feel like you said it was coming from where? The question?
From Vermont.
Okay. From Vermont, what you can do to help is as so as research. Knowledge is key, because before you can before you dive into a pool, you have to know how in depth it goes. You have to know how deep it actually is before you go in. I feel like if you know about the Flint Water Crisis, and then even you and your friends amongst yourself, you talk about it. Get people aware. Get people more knowledgeable about what's going on here. If you can just spread the word with people at your school, groups, start a club. You can work on your own environmental problems. This can also highlight ours. As long as you know that you know what's going on here and in your own communities, you can actually help us out a lot.
Don't be a bystander. Check your own water. See how, see what's wrong with yours. Because, around the United States, they've had worse problems than ours. And, I mean, it hasn't been highlighted because of their issue being fixed. But still, check your water. Don't be a bystander. Stand up and speak up and search, like you said.
Letting your voices be heard like we are right now for this project. That's just really important to make sure that your voices are heard in situations like ours.
Another question from Kenosha, Wisconsin, and they're wondering about the garbage that's produced by all of the plastic bottles, all of the plastic water bottles, all of the time. Mm-hmm. Where does all of that go? How are we handling it here in Flint?
Well, we do recycle.
Yeah, we recycle here at the school. And some homes probably recycle, but that is a major issue that will have to be faced in Flint, with all of the water bottles and the water use. That's something that's going to impact us tremendously.
And also in Flint, so with the water bottles, used ones, what lots of creative people in here has been basically thinking of is once they use, yes, they recycle them, and some actually created their own little sculpture. Some will go on the side of the fence and they'll take water bottles, put them in, they'll make words, they'll make pictures. So it's like these water bottles, yes, basically is going to become a problem, but some people are doing it, so it's like they're using the water bottles so it can explain a deeper meaning.
And I'm pretty sure we have our own recycling plant here for that. Oh, no, okay. Oh, well, we did, but I know that recycling, I think it's on Tuesday from my neighborhood, comes around to pick up, you know, bottles, and they supply bags for the plastic bottles, and they're really big, and you know, put it out to be picked up for recycling.
So there are now specific recycling containers, like these bags, for all of the plastic bottles. Great questions, everybody. I'm looking to see if there's any more questions. Where does the garbage go? Classrooms, if there's any more questions from your end, I guess I'm going to ask a question. At your homes right now, all 6 of you, how many of you can drink the water from the tap? Raise your hand.
I don't live in Flint.
Okay. So if you live outside of Flint, it's not an issue for you.
But being here at school, like, since we've heard about the crisis, like, it's changed a lot because we didn't know. Like, I was drinking out of the water fountains, all of us were. We were using the water for a lot of different things, you know, like, in our biology class, we used it for things, and, you know, it's just really changed the way that, like, even if you don't live here, you just go to, like, at Mott, you just go to school here, you've been affected because, I mean, they sent us emails about, like, them changing out the drinking fountains, and they changed every filter on campus. I mean, but before then, who knows?
Yeah, and some families in Flint are not lucky enough to be able to get a filtering system, so they cannot use their water at all, and so they're just strictly relying on bottled water.
Yeah. And personally, in my home, I don't drink from the water because I honestly am not sure if it is safe to drink or if it isn't, because when we were told it was safe to drink, it wasn't, and now that we, you know, it's just a bit confusing. Yeah, trust. I don't really trust them. So I have a water filter, like a separate filter, and then I have filters on all the sinks. Now at my other home, we have like a filtration system, like she was talking about, through the whole house. So, and even still filters on the sink just to be extra safe.
So even if you were told, drink the water, it's safe, would you do so?
No.
Which leads me to another question. Actually a comment from Ms. Patry, not sure the location. If we helped provide reusable water bottles for school learners, would that be helpful?
It would, but that's, you know, temporarily. A big fix would be for the pipes. But for temporarily, yeah, that would be great.
For someone like outside of our community sending us like reusable bottles would be really nice and helpful, because like sometimes it seems like people are forgetting about the water crisis even though it's still occurring, because like Virginia Tech's like, your water is really great and it doesn't have this one here, and the problem's still not fixed because it wasn't just the water. The pipes are corroded, and like in the beginning people were drinking like toxic chemicals because the people at the water plant didn't know how to filter river water. They're used to filtering lake water from Detroit. So sending like whatever you can, well, you know, like reusable water bottles is very helpful, and I'm very thankful.
To me, that's almost so simple a solution. Hasn't an initiative like that been in place to send reusable water bottles? Well, there's your answer, and I know that oftentimes during Adventure Kids Learning Connections, remote locations want to help. What can we do? How can we help you? And it sounds like now, like Mott Middle College would certainly welcome reusable water bottles. So great question. Yeah. Jazzy, go on camera. Okay. We have another student popping in.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You may. I know that Bradford, you're connected. You participated in the town hall sessions last February, so Jazzy's one of the students that was in the forum for that for that particular town hall session, so she wants to chime in.
Quick thing, reusable water bottles are great. Filtered reusable water bottles would be amazing. I know a couple brands. My favorite one is Bobble. I use them, and they have like a filtered, a filtration system inside of the water bottle, and it's really great. They can be kind of pricey, but in our case, that would be a great short-term thing for us. But yeah,
Filtered
that's all I
water
had to say is like water bottles are great. We have plenty of them. But like filtered ones would be amazing. Yeah, I've been to some locations in Flint, like the YMC in Flint, Michigan. They were giving box water bottles. So I don't know if you guys have seen those or not, but water that comes in a box. So.
Or canned water. Right, remember canned water?
Yeah.
Maybe we need to work on another shipment on canned water. Okay, question from Kenosha, Wisconsin. When we spoke to the students at Mott last January, there was concern about trusting government. Has that changed? If so, how? If not, why not? Nice and loud, whoever's replying.
It has not changed because I feel like once the government decided to make the choice that they did with the community, it destroyed its trust. It's like basically, it was like a bridge. It basically broke the bridge, and you have to actually go to certain lengths to actually repair it. So it's like what she asked earlier, if the government told us that the water was safe now, if they told us that the water is safe to drink, as a Flint resident, as someone who lives in Flint, I personally would not. The trust that they had with us it's been lost. It can be gained back, but it's steps that they need to take to actually gain that trust back. Trust is not given, it's earned.
I think the important thing is we need to tell them why the government, has deceived us in a way. Because we were told, it happened in 2014, correct, guys?
Yeah.
April 2014, and it went on for an entire year until people started noticing changes in the water, and the government was telling us that the water was okay to drink. And this continued, I don't know, until, what would you guys say, 2000
I think probably like late 2000, began in 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing is that people, once they found out about, what was going on in the drinking captain, that there was lead, they, not even really that there was lead, just noticing a change, they would email the government officials, and there was no reply. There was no reply for a very long time, and that is a serious issue.
Yeah, so we were all being told that the water was safe to drink, that it was healthy, even though some residents of Flint were seeing color changes, they had smell changes, and so everybody was telling us that it was okay to drink, but clearly it wasn't. And then Virginia Tech came in and they did some research, and they were the ones that found out that the water contains lead, and we needed it to be changed. We needed somebody to come in and make a difference, but it wasn't happening. And I think that's where the residents of Flint lose their trust.
Which was so sad that we had to depend on communities outside of our own to help us. It's like, yes, we came together as a community, but like towns around us, I wouldn't say it was the last ones to help, but they turned a blind eye. We had to get people, it was cities that had to ship in water before they actually came and helped us. So it's like Virginia Tech, it took them to come and help us to realize about our problem when we have towns around us who can contribute and help. They just looked at them like, oh, okay, it's okay, not that many people live there, or it's okay, no one would notice the problem, or it's okay, we don't really need the help. Virginia Tech came in and they really helped us because of them, we was able to rise as a community and sort out this problem. The problem's still not sorted out, but we're still looking for a solution. We're still thriving. We're still going to find a solution. If not, we would still go and go and go. This is the problem that's ongoing, and we will not stop until the problem is ended. Back to the issue of trust. Personally, I don't trust any water. I travel to, other states, and I don't drink from tap water even there. I don't trust water, period. I think personally I won't for a very long time. I don't think, even if I'm physically displayed with the evidence, I don't think I will, because I went through this. I've seen people with the rashes. I myself have lost hair. I can't wash my hair normal. I have to wash it with bottled water. It's like, even in I think my whole generation won't. And kids now are being fed with, rumors and all that. I think they're going to grow up with false information, and they still won't trust it, and then pass it down and pass it down. So it's created a problem, and it's going to continue to spread unless, I honestly don't know how you could regain that trust, because you could shove a whole bunch of facts in my face with the water I could drink. You even had me test it. I don't think I will trust it.
Overall, the government has lied to us. And
yeah.
I doubt this is the first time they've lied to someone, especially a city full of minority people. We have literally been poisoned with a basic human right. And it's so frustrating to see your loved ones, your friends, your family, yourself, your teachers, everyone going through this. And we've lived with it so long, kind of don't think about it unless we're talking about it like this. Like, this room is really making me feel myself right now, because I'm starting to see, this is ridiculous. And I really hope by reaching out to you guys in our community and other people that we can stop this, because the government may be the government, but we are the people. We have a say. And until we all get together like this, and I want this to happen more. I wish more people were doing things like this, where we were gathering together and talking about issues that are happening in our world. There are distractions. We are distracting ourselves from real problems. This is a real problem. This is a problem that should have been solved in 2014 when it first happened. And that's all I have to say about it.
But people don't understand lead, that stays within generations. So say if I had a kid now and my kid was affected, it's not going to end with him. If he has a kid, it's going to pass on. Lead it's a substance that will stay inside, basically that will stay inside you. Like, it can cause brain damage, so many other things that people overlook. And when it, like I said, so when it stays in generations, some people like some, okay, well, you're okay and stuff, it's just going to last until then. No. If I was affected, it would pass on and pass on. The whole thing is, if I go get tested now and I get tested negative, how can I trust that? Because it's only a short window that you can actually see lead inside your bloodstream. So if I go right now and get tested and I test for negative, I truly might be positive. And if I have kids, that can produce and keep going on with the generation and generation and generation. I'm not really sure on the research of how long it stays inside generation.
It's something like 3 months, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, 3 months or something like that. Sorry if we don't know precisely. But I do know that Flint residents had to be, we waited 3 months for people to come test our kids and our people. And the government didn't come until after that 3 month period because, oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. No, there's nothing there.
It's just a little
You're fine.
They kept telling us they would give us different solutions, like to boil the water.
Yeah.
To boil before you use, boil before you drink and stuff. And then after that was done, we went on to the water bottles, where they would say just strictly use the water bottles. So.
And then they said just use a filter.
Yeah.
Right.
But the filters go bad after so long.
Right.
So what did CollegeC told us that?
Oh, no, of course they wouldn't.
Right. And then when you boil the water, like, I'm so happy, like, it's logic, but Virginia Tech really opened that up. If you think about it, when you boil water, and when they kept saying just boil the water or purify it, boil it, put it in the refrigerator, and you'll be good. No, because actually when you boil the water, water evaporates. Well, no, it doesn't evaporate, lead. So if you have a pot full of water about this big, you're evaporating the water. So actually you're making the lead more concentrated because you're evaporating the water and you're keeping the lead. So if you had like this much water, now you have this much water because you boil and it evaporated. you have, the lead is more in there now. Now you're basically really taking it in, and it's more concentrated, which it can affect you more. And they didn't understand that, so they were giving us false information at times. So to answer your question, I'm just trying to I wanted to see if we have another question, but to answer your question, no, they really just destroyed our trust, like what Jazzy said. This is like how she felt. This is really emotional. This is it affects us all. And I believe you live in Flint as well, right?
I do not live in Flint, but I'm here every day.
So it's still
I have family who lives here.
Well, it's totally clear that everybody that's watching right now hears your message loud and clear, and you have the full support. And that's one of the reasons why we decided to have the platform here in Flint, Michigan, because it's not in the headlines in the rest of the world anymore. Doesn't mean the problem has gone away. So you actually addressed one of the questions that was there in the question, and how the feelings that you were having, the emotions that you were feeling, they came through really loud and clear. So I'm gonna flip it back into question and answer mode, and I don't know, unless you guys have a question for some of the remote locations, we'll take another question or two, and then we'll take time to wrap it up. Tonight at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, do we have opportunity for any more students to have open discussion? Do you think that's a possibility? I think so. We ended up having to do a little calendar switching. So tonight, where we had Genesee early college students, we may have a different audience, different presenters for you, but it's really going to be time for open Q&A for anyone popping into Ripples Make Waves to talk to people in Flint about the Flint crisis. So that being said, make sure you tune in later, because it sounds like we'll have some people here to be able to do that. Somebody was chiming in via audio. Can you go ahead and repeat that?
Yes, Mary. This is Mary. Jacob Jones from Indian Community School has his hand raised, and they would like to go on mute. And so please ask your question, please, Jacob. Jacob, could you please speak up? We cannot hear you. We're going to ask that they put it in the chat window for us. Sorry that it's not coming across okay.
Yep, just a little too much extra noise there. So Jacob, if you could have your teacher put that question that you have in the chat box.
Another one is from Cleveland Heights fourth graders. They would like to know, how can you check your water? So talk a little bit about water testing and things like that for them.
Okay, so they sent, well, I believe they sent tube testing. It's like a jar, a plastic jar type thing. I don't know how it works because my mom never showed me, but that's where they were sent to homes in Flint to test for lead. Sometimes some people have representatives come out there to test the water. I mean, if you get a sample and go somewhere and have it tested, that's the way to have it tested.
And if you talk to your mom about it and you were like, Mom, I feel like we need to test our water. I want to do it for research. You want to check your own self. Talk to your mom about it. And I'm very sure your mom will be open about it. Y'all can actually look online and see places around you that do lead testing, because y'all can go ahead and get you like your jar. You can go ahead and get your jar and you just pour it inside the tap water. You put it in there, and then you'll take it to the place and they'll check it. That's a more thorough check. There's also checks that you can find online where it's just, you can take some water, pour it out, and it's like little sticks. You put it in there, you have to wait a couple minutes, and you check it. Because as living in Flint, I had to check water many of times. We checked water many of times because I knew when this problem was going on, I knew that it was a problem. My friends kept saying the water is okay to drink. I kept saying, no, it is not. I didn't know a whole bunch about it, but I knew that it was not safe to drink, so I did not drink it. And I continued to do, me and my mom, we continued to do tests. And then it kept showing, but no one really did it. So Virginia Tech, them coming here and them actually opening that up the campus and showing people what's going on actually really helped a lot. But in your own community, yes, just try to look, ask your parents about it. I'm very sure they'll be open about it. And anyone else who's out there in the other grades, You can also ask your parents, or if you're old enough, look online yourself. See what's nearby. See what all you can do for your community.
I have a question for viewers out there. I don't know how fast you'll respond, but you see that it occurred in April 2014. When did you actually find out about the Flint Water Crisis?
Oh, that's a good question. So if you didn't hear, I'll just repeat it. When, for those of you who are engaged right now and participating, when do you recall hearing or seeing in the headlines news about the Flint Water Crisis?
Can you also ask them, how did you find out? Did you find out by media?
Sure.
Did you find out by news?
So the question is, when, to any remote participants, when did you hear about it and how? So one, Louisville, Kentucky said 2016, it was on the national news.
Okay.
So 2016, so
that's 2 years
this
after.
began in April 2014, so it is crazy how
way overdue.
2 years later in 2016, the world was finding out and nothing's being done.
And they're echoing similar responses. Kennett, Missouri, 2016 on the news, so national news. I can say that November of 2016 was when I heard about it. I live just south of Milwaukee, but it was national news. Last year on Facebook, but it made the news in Europe.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Cleveland Heights students found out from teachers, and the third graders then collected water bottles to donate. So give a shout out to the Cleveland Heights school for helping their Ohio, I think, if I'm correct.
I love Ohio.
Aren't we neighbors?
I just want to say thank you, because even though you think just listening to us is not really helping, it actually is. Because you just listen to us, you are adapting this information that we're giving you. You're getting more knowledge. And like I said earlier, I would encourage you to find or look or try to see if there's a problem in your community. Don't adapt to it. If you see a problem, please, like she said, don't be a bystander, don't adapt to it. Make a stand. Make a statement. Do something like, we're making a project. Do something that's like with your school. Start a group. Start a club. You can either do it after school club. It doesn't really matter. Just make sure you get your words heard. You can do poetry. You can do singing, because poetry and singing and all of that, that's a good way to get your word out. You don't have to sing or do poetry. You can just talk. It's just getting your knowledge out there will help us as a community. Yes, you're not donating. Yes, you're not helping with our land, but you're helping yourself, which is helping us. Us helping ourselves helps the community as a whole. Yes, we need help, but you getting your own community knowledge, you rising up and accepting, like I said, our beacon of hope. Well, Virginia Tech said, accepting our beacon of hope, you actually doing that, you're creating one for your own city that can pass on to another one. This can be like dominoes. This can be a domino effect. You can move and move and move through, and then when you're helping us, like, and then once you finally get that all out there open in the air, that helps us a lot.
I'm going to add on to that. We're not just, a random infomercial. We're not asking for $1 a day. This is a real life problem that's serious. I mean, I'm not saying those problems aren't serious, but I'm saying this is a real life problem. Like, we need our pipes fixed. They're talking about they're not going to be fixed for like years to come. I'm going to be graduated by then.
And then this is like, I just want to say, the pictures that you on online on stuff, this is not yellow journalism. If you do not know what that means, yellow journalism is when you take a situation and you make it seem better than it really is. That's basically what yellow journalism is. This is not yellow journalism. This is actually true information. This is actually happening. Most people look and say, oh, it couldn't be that bad. They must be doing something. Because yellow journalism, I'm not trying to move so off topic, but I'm just going to tell you what it is, just in case I know we have some 4th graders and 3rd graders here. But yellow journalism basically is like what they're doing, like infomercials. Like, yes, that stuff, bad stuff is happening in Africa, but they do it so they can get more money and stuff. We're not like she said, we're not asking for money. We're just asking for knowledge. We're just asking for you to be aware and for you to actually participate and help as a community.
And one last thing to kind of say the screen was kind of like hinting at the water bill.
Oh,
we have the water bill.
And now
We have the
still planning
highest
for
water bill in the state of Michigan. And where? Like just Michigan, if I believe right?
Yeah.
In Michigan.
We pay more money for poisoned water than any other place in Michigan.
Yeah, and that's been part of the issue, and asking people how much we pay for our water is a 3-day conference in and of itself. So as moderator, I hate to reel you guys back in, but I totally understand how this is healing for you too. And I am so honored that you took time out of your day, that your principal felt this was an important thing for you to be a part of. That's huge. We will continue conversations on Facebook with this. I'm going to remind everybody at the remote locations, you can tweet out questions if you wish. You can use the hashtag MakeWaves17. Hashtag World Water Day is the official UN Water hashtag. And I'm going to invite everybody who was here this morning to come back tonight because we have an empty slot, a last-minute cancellation. But I think this is a powerful medium, and it might be a good opportunity to continue this conversation and hear some more. But on behalf of Ripples Make Waves, thank you to all of the students and Mrs. Green, who's off camera, who allowed this all to happen. Your passion and sharing your story has now been on a global platform. So you are role models to everybody that has connected. You've shared your story. Now it's for them to share this story, and that will help everybody in the long run. So on behalf of Ripples Make Waves, thank you, Mott Middle College students. You are inspirations to me every single day. I think about my time here and the event we did here. So we're going to wrap it up. We've got Edwina Mercer on call. She's logged in and ready for the next presentation at noon, which is about a revolutionary new toilet. How many people think that we need to redesign a toilet? But in all seriousness, this particular toilet that's been redesigned, which requires very little infrastructure, excuse me, will be the topic of what Ms. Mercer has to present at noon. So thank you very much. Thanks for joining us. Log in, share this URL to anybody that drinks water, which is our audience for Ripples Make Waves. Thanks, everybody. You guys want to give them a goodbye?
Thank you.